Welcome dear students to Computer Studies Standard 10th English Medium, Chapter number 11, Part 3. All those who are new on my channel and haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel and continue watching the video. Also, if you like the video, please hit the like button. Fine, now today's topic which I have to teach you is operators. Okay. Now, when learning basic mathematics in school, we have performed operations like addition of two numbers or subtraction of two numbers, right? Now, for example, 5 plus 3 and 9 minus 7, here 5, 3, 9 and 7 all are constants, while plus and minus are symbols that identify the operations to be performed on the constants. The symbols are known as operand. Remember the word. I have forgotten to highlight the word. Remember that thing. An operator is a symbol that identifies the operation that can be performed on the operands. The operators in C can be categorized into 8 types. Now in maths you have just learned plus, minus, multiplication, division, four types of things. But there are several operators. And if we try to, in C language, and if we try to classify, we can classify it into 8 different types. Okay. The first type of thing is arithmetic operators. Second one, assignment operator. Third, relational operators. Fourth, increment and decrement operators. Fifth, conditional operators. Sixth, logical operators. Seventh, bitwise operator, and last one, 8th one is spatial operator. So these many types of operators are there. Now in this video I will try to make the video of 30 minutes. So as many operators I am able to complete in this video, I will complete. The rest of the thing I will continue in the last part 4 video of this chapter if anything remains. I also suggest you to watch the video from the starting to the end to understand all these things, because so many things are new for you, and in the further program these all things only are to be used. Fine, so we begin with arithmetic operators. Now, plus, it is used for the addition of two operands, or it's known as unary plus. Minus, it's a subtraction of two operands, or it's known as unary minus. Multiplication, does the multiplication work of the two operands, while division, now let's see, multiplication X symbol is not used here. This type of asterisk is used for multiplication, and for division, always remember this slash, forward slash is used. Don't use the another slash which is given. Okay. Now this division of two operands will result into the quotient, right? Now the last one is a new operator for you, am I right? In mathematics, you never used this operator. We are familiar with the first 4 operators given in the table, but C provides us an additional operator which is known as modulo operator. Just remember the word modulo operator. And it is used for us to get a remainder when performing division of two integer operands. Now division sign, this is always used to get the quotient, right? Division sign is always used to get the quotient when you divide two numbers, but this one will help you to get the remainder value. What is the remainder? And in future further C programs, this is the most helpful, this thing is going to be the most helpful operator for you. So try to understand. Now I will explain you practically in C language only. Okay, fine. So now to explain you the use of modulo operator, I have prepared this program. Now the name or documentation which I have given is Program to illustrate the use of arithmetic operators. I have included studio.h, I have included conio.h. Then comes void main, then curly bracket, clear screen. Now here I have declared a integer variable a. Okay. Now I have given an output on the screen that enter the number. Okay, we are asking the user to enter the number and we will tell you whether the number is odd or even. So we have to perform a process and answer the user whether the number he has entered is odd or even, right? So we scan the number which the user is entering by using the function scanf, %d, double quotes, comma, %a. Fine. Now after the scanning work gets over, I use the if statement. If a is equal to, okay, a is equal, no, a modulo 2 is equal to 1, okay, then the number is even, right? Sorry, number is odd, otherwise the number is even, or we keep here 0 as remainder, 0, then printf. I will explain you what I am typing just now. Even number, else now if statement is in other chapter, so you are not knowing that thing, don't worry. Fine, so the program is ready. Now see what I am doing is, after I get the value from the user, that is the value of the a, I will divide it by 2 using the modulo operator, okay, and if the remainder which comes is 0, okay, then the number will be even number, isn't it? For example, 4 divided by 2, what will be the answer? 0. Remainder will be 0, and if 5 is there, then remainder will come 1, right? So if the remainder is 0, then we will print that even number, and if it's not 0, then we will print its odd number. So let's compile the program. Success. Run the program. Okay, enter the number. So I am entering a number here, 33. Odd number. Am I right? Again I run the program, just see. Now I am entering a number 44. Okay, even number, right? So is it giving the correct output? So in these circumstances, this operator is very, very useful to us. Okay, remember that thing. Fine. Now another topic which I have to discuss right now along with the arithmetic operator is the thing that in your textbook it's given that there are 3 types of arithmetic: integer arithmetic, real arithmetic, and mixed arithmetic, okay, or mixed mode arithmetic. Yeah, 3 things. Now it's a stupid thing or a very simple thing that, for example, they have written a whole program for that. I will also type the same thing, that for example, if you declare a number of integer, if you declare variable of float data type, which example they have taken total cost, then another variable total cost is equal to 650, comma quantity is equal to 24. Find the cost per item. Now see, I will try to explain you this thing. Now here I have declared 3 variables. Which are the 3 variables? Total cost, quantity, and cost item. 3 variables I have declared. I have assigned value 650 to the total cost. I have assigned the value 24 to the quantity. Now if I want to find the cost per item, what will I do? I will divide total cost by quantity. Am I right or wrong? Yeah, I am always right. So I will get the answer. Now this answer I will get will be in float. Am I right? Since all the three variables which I have declared are float. Yeah, I will get the answer in float, and then I can print it off. Printf, the cost per item is, what is the name of the variable? Or I have to write here percentage f, comma, name of the variable is cost underscore item. Right? Okay, program is ready. I run the program. The cost per item is 27.083334. Okay, fine. Now this type of sum or this type of program is known as real arithmetic. Why it is known as real arithmetic? Because here all the three variables which I have taken are all of real data type. Okay, so it is known as real arithmetic. I just now only when I began the thing I told you that this is a funny topic. Obviously it's known as that thing. Fine. Now I have changed the data type. Okay, just observe here int. So now all the three variables are of which data type? Integer data type, right? So here while printing also I do %d. Okay, and I run the program, then I will get the answer in integer. Just observe, the cost per item is 27. That point figure went away because this variable is not of float data type. Now here all the three variables which I have used are of which data type? Integer. So this is known as integer arithmetic. Very silly thing is given here, integer arithmetic, right? And last one is mixed mode arithmetic. That for example, this last variable I take of float data type. Okay, I take it of float data type. The upper two variables I have taken of which data type? Integer. Last one float. Okay, so this is known as mixed mode arithmetic. Now answer me here, the answer will be in float or in integer? Obviously it will be in float because I have given here %f, and final variable in which I am taking the value is float. So I run the program. Did I get the answer in float? So now the next type of operator is assignment operator. We all are familiar with is equal to sign. For example, A is equal to B. Then the value of B is assigned to A, or A is equal to 10. Then 10 is assigned to A. So equal to, you know, is an assignment operator. For example, A is equal to B plus C. Then whatever value is lying in B will get added in C and the collective value will be saved in A. But besides that, C provides an operator known as shorthand operator. Remember the word shorthand operator. Okay, the syntax is like this way: variable OP, that is OP, that could be plus minus anything, is equal to constant value, or variable OP is equal to expression. I hope you have not understood anything in this, so I will explain you. Here OP refers to an arithmetic operator, while OP is equal to, this thing is known as shorthand operator. It could be asked in the MCQ. This is known as shorthand operator, and this refers to arithmetic operator. Fine. So I will clarify what it is. It's very easy to understand with an example. A, if I write here A minus is equal to 1. Listen carefully. A minus equal to 1. Here no space is required in between. I have typed this thing here, but in C language I don't need to leave any space here. A minus equal to 1. Then this statement means A is equal to A minus 1. For example, if the value of A was 10, then after the execution of this statement, the value of a will become 9 because 10 minus 1 is 9. One more example. A plus equal to 4. This statement is equivalent to a is equal to a plus 4. Now what was the value of a? It was 9. So 9 plus 4. So now the value of a is 13. Right? Just now you may be finding it very much odd, a minus equal to 1 and a plus equal to 14, but when you learn C language, this will be a common habit. You will also start typing the sentences like this way. Okay. Next example is given here. A multiply equal to into bracket b plus c. This statement is equivalent to a is equal to a into bracket b plus c. So this was about assignment operator. Then we come to relational operator. Okay. This operator is also going to be very, very helpful to you in the future chapters. The relational operator allows us to compare two similar type of operands and generally are used to change the flow of the execution. Say for example, if the marks are greater than 35, okay, in Microsoft Excel I had taught you this type of program. If marks are greater than 35, then the student is passing in that subject, right? So print pass. To check this type of condition, we use this type, we can type the following thing. Like this way we have to type, if marks into bracket mark greater than 35, printf pass. Okay. Do you remember, have I ever used if statement before this? Yeah, I had used it. Try to remember. Just now only I had used. If a module 2 is equal to 0 or 1 something, then even like that way I had used that thing, right? So now you know how to use the if statement and no semicolon will come here. Remember that thing. So like this way to check this values of these two things, this type of operator is used. Okay. Now this is not only the one type of operator, but here also you have got 6 different operators. We will have a look at that. Double equal to. Okay. Checks the equality between two operands. Try to remember. I had intentionally given that example. A module 2 is equal to 0. Now if I type simple equal to, then what will happen? It will assign 0 to this thing, right? We don't have to assign value. Single equal to means assignment operator. While double equal to, like this way if you type, it will check the equality. Then exclamation mark and equal to, it will check non-equality between two operands. Greater than, you know that it checks the greater value between the two operands, and smaller then also you know that checks for smaller value between two operands. That you know, that you all are very knowledgeable people. Then greater than equal to also you know checks for greater than value or equality between two operands. And smaller than or equal to also you know checks for smaller value or equality between two operands. Now from this also MCQs could be asked that, for example, which operator is used to check the non-equality between two operands. Like that way, twisted anything from this table, MCQ could be asked. Fine, so we complete this operator here, relational operator. Now we come to increment and decrement operator. This is very interesting operator, and in the chapter of looping, okay, I don't remember the number of the chapter, maybe 13 or 14, loop. In that, this operator is going to be very, very useful to you, and that is why I told in the beginning of the video that please watch the video from the starting till the end. All these things which I am teaching you in this chapter are going to be helpful to you. Now at times we need to increase or decrease the value of a variable by 1. Okay. Such situations arise when set of statements are to be represented. Now for example, if you want to print the series of 1 to 100 numbers, right, then you don't need to declare 100 variables. You need to declare only one variable. you assign value 0. Then you add add the value by 1 every time when the loop turns. Add the value by 1 and it will go on printing 1, 2, 3, 4 till 100. So here we need to use a variable that keeps the track of the number of times a loop has been executed. We can achieve this objective by using shorthand operator. For example, we can write the syntax here: plus equal to 1 or minus equal to 1 for incrementing or decrementing. We can write this, right? But there is a better option for that. But C provides two special unary operators. Okay, these unary operators plus plus and minus minus are used for this purpose. The operators requires only one operand, that is plus plus, which is known as increment operator, while minus minus, which is known as decrement operator. Remember, here you don't need to add plus equal to 1 or plus minus, nothing. Plus plus or minus minus. How it could be used? The syntax is given here, just observe. Either before the variable name you can add plus plus, or after the variable name you can add plus plus. Same way, decrement operator you can use before the variable name minus minus or after variable name minus minus. There will be difference, it depends where you add the thing. Here plus plus and minus minus are used as either prefix or suffix. Remember this word, prefix and suffix, to a variable. When it is prefixed, we call it pre-increment and pre-decrement operator. On the other hand, when it is suffixed, we call it post-increment or post-decrement operator. Now there is a vast difference whether you add it before or after. Okay, and every time in the exam, one MCQ which is asked is from this type of thing. So I will solve this type of sum practically using C language and explain you the thing. Fine, so here I declared two variables. A is equal to 15, comma, B is equal to 20, comma, C. I am not assigning any value to the C variable. Fine. Now, if I type a statement here, C is equal to A plus B plus plus. Okay. Then what will happen? I will check the printout of all the three variables value. First I will print up the value of A, percentage D, comma, or I will type here, percentage D is the stored value of A. Okay, comma, A. Now printf percentage D is the value of B. Try to understand this thing is very important. Semicolon, semicolon, and printf percentage D is the value of C. Fine. Now first thing, you try to guess what will be the answer. What will be the value of A? What will be the value of B and what will be the value of C? Here C is equal to A plus B. The value of A has not changed. So the value of A will be 15. Right? Then here we have given plus B plus plus. So now what is the value of B? It has increased by 1. It is post increment. Okay. So what will be the value of B? 21. Now the third question and the final question, as I told you, this type of sum will be asked in the MCQ. Always it has been asked, this type of question, either in prelims or in final. What will be the value of C? Will it be 15 plus 21 or 15 plus 20? That is the question which should arise in your mind. I repeat, whether it will be 15 plus 20 or 15 plus 21. Okay. Now since it is post increment, Okay, so answer will be 15 plus 20, 35. How? That I will tell you. First I will run the program and show you. I have printed everything in the same line. 15 is the value of A, 21 is the value of B, and 35 is the value of C. So was I right? Did it become 15 plus 20 and 35, right? It didn't become 15 plus 21. So why does this thing happen? That I will explain you. Before that I will add 1/n to give a clear this thing. Here also I will add 1/n so you can read the thing clearly. Okay, so before this thing I have to add. Fine. Now I run the program. Again this I have to bring in the new line. Fine. So here you can read the thing clearly. 15, 21 and 35. Fine. Now next thing is, what is the effect of post increment and pre increment? That I will explain you. See, when you do post increment, at that time first it will do the calculation of A plus B, and then it will first it will increase the value of B. First it will do the calculation of A plus B and assign it the value to C. And thereafter, post means thereafter it will increase the value of B by 1. And in place of this statement, if I have written here plus plus B, just try to think, if I had written here plus plus B, then what will be the answer? Here the compiler will also get confused, because whether it is A plus plus B or A, so I leave space in between and try. Let's check. Okay. So now it is pre-increment. That means the value of B is increased 21. Okay. And it is assigned to C also, that is A plus B. And so the answer here is 36 instead of 35. So remember, pre means first it will add the value of B and then it will do the addition. And post means